Oh, ah. Ah, ah. Hello, we're just about to start. Just need to bring up the. Right. Yeah. Start in just a sec. Yeah, there we go. Okay, welcome to another episode of the Crypto Market Scan. I'm RangaDad. This is not financial advice, this is just the way I'm looking at the market. Just want to do a quick update today. Obviously juggling kids and stuff at the moment. One that just wants to play with the wall apparently. So let's get into it. Just looking at our paper trading spreadsheet. It's still looking reasonably healthy considering, but I won't cover too much of this today. I just want to get in and we'll have a quick look at the market, and we'll start with Bitcoin. One of the things that really surprised me about some of these peaks here, and I was around in the pump through 2020. Basically, I started getting back into crypto when it was around this level here, I think, from memory. No, it wasn't 2020, it was earlier. Must have been around here somewhere. Anyway, I went and paid to learn how to trade properly and rode it all the way up. And it went pretty well. The one thing that surprised me was a lot of people in the crypto space on Twitter and even in the trading group that I was in, they're still super bullish up around these areas here. And momentum in this is really important to me. You just see, and generally as a trader, you want to go with the momentum. So once you start seeing, big pumps, and then you start to see pullbacks, but less pumps, pullback, less of a pump, and then a big drop. That to me there was the sign that no, we're not going any further for a little bit. And managed to get out. Once it came back up here, there's normally another little bump, which gives you your lower high, and then it's downwards. So, the amount of people that would have burnt listening to all the Moon Boys and the hype that was still around at that point there would have been crazy. And that's why we see such big drops. People start losing money and they capitulate and they get out of the market. So this was a great little buying area around here. I tried to get my parents involved around the 30k mark. They didn't want to borrow it, but would have been a good level to get in at. We haven't really seen it get back that low apart from a little drop just here. Yes, Marshy. Anyway, so it's all about sort of momentum. And as you can see, you just see the curvature of the tops of these pumps. It just starts getting slower and slower. So something to be careful of, and it happens on smaller. As we can see at the moment, Bitcoin is sort of having another little tapering off here, which, you know, there's some interesting closures here. We still haven't, like if we closed above the 200 here today, which is tomorrow morning my time, 20 hours from now, if we close above the 200, then we still haven't really closed above these peaks, but closing above the 200 could be a reasonably big thing. Bitcoin doesn't necessarily, do you want to take it? Yeah. Oh, it's all got baby. So crypto doesn't necessarily always taper off and then drop, but it's certainly a sign that you need to be a bit more cautious and you need to be really looking for clearing key levels. And at the moment, this red box here is still quite a key area for me. We're still within that. So I'm kind of expecting, similar to what I posted in the last video, I'm expecting a little pump here, which will get us just to this resistance level that I've drawn. Now, technically, it's not a huge resistance level because it's an intraday resistance, but clearing these wicks would be really important. And at the moment, it looks more like we may actually be coming up here, taper off. We may get a wick up to that resistance, come back down, potentially bounce off either the 100 here or this sort of support level. That would be a fairly big pullback. Just get rid of a few things here, clear it up a bit. I think this sort of volume profile will act as a bit of support here. If we just go to a retracement on this current pump, you know, coming back down here would come back down roughly to your 61.8 fib level, which if you go much lower than that, you'd probably be looking at it to actually keep going down. And we may again retest this level here. So right now, personally, I'm not buying. It's probably, if you did make some trades down here, it's probably not a bad time to be taking some profit. Leave some in if you're so inclined. But not a bad time to take some profit, see if it comes back, and then we get another run. They're not particularly bearish candles, these ones. A little bit of indecision yesterday. That one's probably more bearish, but there seems to be some upward pressure on it still. Volume yesterday was quite low. As we get on the weekends, the volumes have been quite low lately, so which suggests that retail isn't really back in the market yet, to me anyway. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Pretty key levels here. Just keep an eye on it, basically. Go back to previous volume profiles. I think there could be quite a gap up. If we do clear that 200 and the resistance, we're talking about sort of 47, 48, I think, before it'll really slow down again. I'm not seeing any signs of a huge run on Bitcoin anytime soon, but we'll keep an eye out for that anyway. Ethereum's been one of the top performers at the moment. In my eyes, it had a really strong break of that downward trend line. The downward trend line on Ethereum was a bit stronger because it had multiple peaks here that hit it. And the fact that it broke through so well, broke through quite strongly, came back down, basically retested, it actually bounced off the 50 moving average, 50 EMA, and then headed back up. That was a nice little breakout, and that to me gave me confidence that the market was going up for a bit, and that it wasn't like a false break on Bitcoin. So pays to watch a few different few different coins, a few of the main ones. I'll have a quick look at Luna. Just check to see if there's any. Yeah. Luna's still sort of struggling around the previous highs that we've had. Still quite bullish on this. The 20's acting as a dynamic support at the moment. We may get back down. It's still putting in higher highs. Well, sorry, came down here, but still putting in higher lows. Interesting to see if it breaks that trend, but there seems to be a lot of support off the 20 moving average at the moment. Yeah, one to watch. What else have we got? DYDX, and as I said in the previous video, some of these smaller market cap coins in the gaming sector in particular, it looks like they're starting to bottom out. So as you can see, if you're sort of looking at just a big trend line, you'd expect it to start heading up from here. May not necessarily be the case, but that's kind of what I am expecting, just based on what the market is doing in general. But you tend to see like the face melting kind of gains that you get from some of these coins. Oops. These sort of pumps here, they come a little bit after you see Bitcoin having decent rallies. So you got a bit of warning there. Watch out for Bitcoin, and then look out for some of the ones that are setting up in terms of the lower ones. This sort of one here, what have we got? Renders looks like it's still putting in lower highs, but certainly there's a fair bit of support around this level here. So in the next week or so, we could have some reasonable gains, assuming Bitcoin goes in the direction I expect it to. Chainlink, still around these lows again. Obviously, we had a pretty good long-term trend line there for Link, and it broke down below that. So now we're sort of looking at these lower lows are still trending down a little bit, but we have just basically made a short-term high there. So it looks like Link is on its way up as well, pretty much following Bitcoin at the moment. Matic. What are you, Coco? Under the table. I think you've done a poo. You stink. Cody's going all right. Arweave, similar to Link and the others. Have a look at some of the lower market cap gaming stuff. Sol, still low. Veracity, looks like it's starting to trend up. We haven't seen sort of a general, just reasonable gradual push up like this in a while for many of these coins. So to me, this has sort of strengthened the market. Lossless, yeah, it's hopefully bottoming out there, but it's putting in higher highs, higher lows really on shorter term time frames. See how it goes. Synapse, interesting. That looks like a level of support there for Synapse. Remark. It's just clawing its way back above this previous support level that I had in there. That one's probably not looking as strong. To me, that's actually potentially going to come back down a little bit again. It's just got that inverse trend on it. It's just slowing down a bit. Network. Yeah, network. Really hard to trade these sort of coins at the moment when you're seeing this sort of stuff. Just short term up, straight back down. Short term up, might get up higher than that, but we haven't put in a higher high here, so this one may come down a little bit further again. So right now, I think it's more, if you are a short-term trader, it's probably a trader's market on the shorter time frames. Long term, I'm still sort of this paper type trading stuff where, you're just looking to average in, just put bits more and more as you see these little drops and things like that. So once we see a bit of turnaround on this, small indecision candle there, and then basically closure above, bit of strength. It's probably not until that candle there that I would have got interested in this one as a short-term trade. And then obviously, or even as I guess an averaging in trade, they're the kind of pickups you want to see. It's still quite low. As soon as you see that bullish candle there, you think, okay, this is probably going up for a little bit. If you're sitting on spare cash, and I always like to keep a little bit in the kitty for different things as they pop up. If you've got some extra spare cash, then putting it in at these sort of levels, in my opinion, is a good thing. And then it's just watching to see if you get any major dumps in the charts. So, look, I'm going long term with a lot of these. I'm not doing a lot of short term trades at the moment. A little bit busy at work to pay that much attention to the hourly and 4-hourly charts, so can't help you too much on them at this stage. IMX has got some strength in it. We had a really good week. The Australian Blockchain Week was awesome last week. Fantastic event that these guys put on, and just the energy that even came through the web broadcast was quite phenomenal. Got a lot of hope for the Australian blockchain industry. So things are looking up in general. I think it's a really great time to be starting to get involved with this industry. What else we got? I just want to have a quick look at NEAR. NEAR is looking quite strong at the moment. It's cleared all those moving averages, which is really handy. You'd expect, I'd like to see a pullback to the 20 before I got interested in putting some more NEAR on. But that's a reasonably strong looking chart as well. What else? The last thing, just to mention, the Bitcoin shorts are still super low right now. So keep an eye on these, because it kind of does look like they're turning around a little bit at the moment as well. But at this stage, fairly positive there. The only caveat on that is if you zoom back out, so always zoom out and look left. This is sort of where I would consider a good level for expecting quite a big pump. If we look at this 26, that's around Christmas time before that big pump. So from 3rd of December to 5th of Jan, they were reasonably low. If we go back into Bitcoin charts, so 3rd of December was about there. So Bitcoin shorts were coming down from around there to, oops, hang on, sorry, where are we? There. So yeah, the shorts ended up dropping from there and were pretty low all the way through till end of December. We still got some dropping off. So, Bitcoin shorts coming all the way back doesn't necessarily mean everything, but it's more when Bitcoin shorts are actually peaking, when they're going on big jumps like that. That's when we really want to start to pay attention, because that's when you're looking at potential for some medium-term downside. Obviously, you got these big ones back here in June 21, July 21. If we go back to Bitcoin, June 21. Yeah, so funnily enough, we go back to the shorts. This little pump here was sort of one of the big times at which it dumped. So 15th of May, it peaked out at 18th of May. So that's where it really started to pick up on the short side, and didn't start to really level off until about there. And we still saw some downside after that. So it's just, again, one of the indicators. At the moment, it's indicating that there's not a lot of people shorting the market. Yeah, hope that helps. There's not a lot else I wanted to sort of cover today. Yeah, I think that covers it. If there's something you want me to look at, feel free to leave a comment and I'll look at it in the next video. But I'll try and do a few more of these a week. And yeah, catch you later. Trade safely. Trade within your means.